The number one thing that you and your sales team can do to improve your bottom line is making sure everybody gets into the headspace that you are a solution provider, that you're a business partner, that you are the trusted advisor, the authority in your field, the subject matter expert. You are not keeping under a budget. You are not keeping under a ceiling. So the biggest thing I'm asked all the time is what do my sales team do or don't do? And I can say now, stop getting your salespeople to ask what the budget is of the client. Now, you may be thinking that's fine, but what about if the budget of what we have is way out what the client wants? Well, I'd say there's other steps to go through before that. For example, does your website have frequently asked questions? Is there little videos on there so a client can understand before they come to you roughly what the different solutions look like? Not the price, but roughly different solutions. Because really, by the time a salesperson should touch a client, that's the touch point, it should very much not be that your solution's up here and what the client thinks they're going to spend is here. However, it might be. So what can your team do? The main thing is for their headspace not to be under a ceiling of budget. So at the very beginning, to partner, be the business partner, ask great, intelligent, open questions, understand the client situation. And as long as that client is doing all the talking, of course, your team then know because they think they're going to spend this much because it just happened to come out. They've tried this before. They've tried so-and-so before. They've tried the competitor before. This is what pain they're in. They're going to know their needs, wants, and desires. We spend hours sometimes eliciting what you can find out if you ask the right questions. And then that salesperson could be armed with how to land your compelling message with clarity. But at no point are you talking about price. The other reason not to talk about price, you don't want to remind the client there's a ceiling. First of all, the word budget is an awful word because it's like, I'm on a budget. And secondly, you don't want to remind the client there's a ceiling to what they're going to spend. If you've listened intently and your intent is to care about the outcome, then you want to get rid of that ceiling so you can really be present with the client, ask the right questions, and then put forward the solution, which might be, it could be 5 times more they thought they were going to spend. But if it's the right solution, then our sales team, you and I, need to make sure that everyone feels that they have an obligation to give the client what's right for them. You know, that's why our job as a salesperson is to help clients get the right outcome for them, not help clients but not really give them the worst outcome for them because they've got a budget. That's not what our job is. Our job is to be present, listen, understand. So get rid of the word budget in your organization. Make sure your reps don't start asking that question. It is a different story if you've got quick turnover and they're taking 120 calls a day each. But outside of that, that's a quick way to stop the client focusing on a ceiling and stop your reps focusing on a ceiling, and they can be free to now find out. Now, if your client says, of course, we have a budget, I would, as a salesperson, always go, if we can just move that off the table for a second so I can find out what you need, because I have a responsibility to find out what you need and provide what you need, and then we can work towards where you're at. And that's a different way of saying it, right? Because otherwise, as soon as you say some money, your reps are going to work underneath that money, and it may not be what the client needs. The client doesn't know what they want. They may think they know. They may talk with authority like they know, but they say to you, I want A, B, and C. And most of us are like order takers. Okay, I'll go and get A, B, and C. Might try and upsell D if I can, rather than go, I wonder why they need that. I wonder why they think they need that. Oh, what are you doing with that, Jack? And how long have you tried that solution? And how did that work for you? And really stop being reactive and selling at, and start being partnering, understanding, and being a solution provider for that client, where you're both looking at the outcome together. So if that helps your team mentally get their head around that, that's where they should be positioned, not keeping under a certain amount of money.